Zoey 101 is making a comeback as a new spin-off, Zoey 102. But while it was definitely the most popular show when it originally aired, here's why the spin-off's a terrible idea. It probably won't be as popular as the OG show. Like, duh, that's a given. And considering how, up until now, Paramount Plus hasn't announced that many details about the plot other than a Zoey 102 will be happening, what we do know is that the PCA alumni will be reuniting for a wedding. This does bring up one huge question though. Whose wedding? Now, a while ago, a Zoey 101 special did air, which featured Chase and Michael opening the PCA time capsule from the end of the original series, and with Chase finding out that Zoey had feelings for him. So, there's a huge possibility that the wedding will be none other than Zoey and Chase's, but we can't confirm that yet. After all, there's been no confirmation yet that Zoey 102 will be connected to the special reunion episode. Now, Zoey 102 is the second Nickelodeon show that's making a comeback, the first being the wildly successful iCarly. But despite iCarly's success, Zoey 102 might not do as well. Okay, we get that Zoey 101 was an iconic show for most kids at the time, but even though another Nickelodeon show, iCarly, did pretty well when it made its comeback, the truth is that iCarly changed a lot to adapt to its audience. That is, the main people who would be interested in a reboot of a Nickelodeon show would be the ones who watched the show in the first place. But those people are adults now, and the people behind the reboot knew that. And so they changed the whole show to a more adult one aimed at its original audiences. Smart! Zoey 102, on the other hand, is just going to be a one-off movie, and it's mainly riding on being a nostalgia hit for the 2000s children.
So, Alyssa,
But it's highly unlikely that it's going to have any lasting impact because of this. Not to mention, there's a lot of controversy surrounding the creator of the show, too. Ever since Zoey 102 was originally announced, there's been a lot of backlash. First of all, the creator behind the show, Dan Schneider, has been accused of sexual harassment by many of the minors that starred in his shows. These minors, by the way, include the likes of Jeanette McCurdy from iCarly and Alexa Nicholas, who left Zoey 101 literally because of this, and accusations of bullying against her castmates and Schneider himself. Aside from that, there's been a lot of controversy surrounding Jamie Lynn Spears herself, who recently spoke against her sister, Britney Spears, and her conservatorship. So she's not so popular right now. Anyways, it's pretty clear at this point that doing a Zoey 102 at this point would be a pretty bad idea. But regardless of whether it happens or not, you might be wondering where the Zoey 101 cast is now. But this person, though, she's been in the news quite a few times now. But where exactly is Jamie Lynn Spears? Otherwise known as Britney Spears' little sister, Jamie played the role of Zoe Brooks on Zoey 101. She gave birth to her daughter a while after the show got canceled, but she did clarify that it didn't get canceled because she was pregnant. After Zoey 101, she released an EP titled The Journey back in 2014, and then took a break from acting for 6 years before finally joining the cast of Netflix's Sweet Magnolias in 2020. In 2022, she released an autobiography titled Things I Should Have Said, which included some controversial anecdotes about her complicated relationship with her older sister. As for her love life, Spears was engaged to her baby daddy, Casey Aldridge, for 2 years, but the two broke up in 2010. After that, she fell in love with Jamie Watson, who she did marry in 2014. The two also welcomed a daughter by the name of Ivy Joan Watson in 2018. Now that we know what happened to the actress behind Zoey, what about the one behind her best friend, Quinn Penske, Erin Sanders? You'll remember her as Zoey's nerdy best friend Quinn on the show Zoey 101. After that gig, the actress went on to star as Camille in yet another Nickelodeon show, Big Time Rush. And then after that, she joined CBS's The Young and the Restless. The latest thing she performed in was a horror movie, which was released back in 2020, The Call. Now, Sanders is also working as a yoga and meditation instructor where she leads her classes over Zoom. And as for her love life, she's currently dating music producer Adam Johan. Right, now that we know where Aaron is, I'm sure at this point you guys are probably wondering what happened to the actor for Zoey's other best friend and crush, Chase. So let's talk about Sean Flynn. On Zoey 101, he played the role of Zoey's guy best friend who was secretly in love with her from the moment he was first introduced, and he'll be returning in the role for Zoey 102 too. Now, after his Nickelodeon days came to an end, Flynn went on to join other acting projects. He not only starred in Hatfield's and McCoy's Bad Blood, but also in Return of the Killer Shrews and The Last of Robin Hood. Flynn has since moved on to producing and is currently working with a production company called Donatello Arm. And as for his love life, he got hitched literally last year. In fact, he married his longtime girlfriend, Lindsay Monconduit, back in March 2022. Next up is yet another male actor you probably remember from the show, Matthew Underwood. He acted the part of Quinn's flirty, rich boyfriend on Zoey 101. But after the show got canceled, Matthew suddenly disappeared. In fact, he didn't act for almost 10 whole years before finally returning in 2017 to work on a few projects like The Golden Stars and The Magic Studio. He'll also be coming back for Zoey 102. We don't really know what exactly Underwood was up to in the time he was away from acting, but we do know that he got arrested not once, but twice in 2012. The first time was for the possession of marijuana, and the second time happened 6 months after that for violating his probation. Underwood's also been pretty under the radar and doesn't really post much on social media. In fact, he posted on Instagram for the first time since 2020 to announce that he'll be returning to PCA and his Zoey 101 family. Now, this next name is a name we're sure you'll remember, especially if you were a huge Nickelodeon fan, Victoria Justice. Victoria played the role of Zoey's new roommate in Season 2, and while the show didn't last for long, it was a launching pad for a huge career ahead of her. The actress went on to star in her very own Nickelodeon show, Victorious, which produced music and acting icons like Ariana Grande and Elizabeth Gillies. After her show ended, Justice went on to the big screen, where she played roles in Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List and The Outcasts. She also recently starred in the 2022 Netflix original film, A Perfect Pairing. Aside from acting, Victoria's also been releasing her own music as an independent artist, dropping singles from time to time. That includes 2020's Treat Myself. Also, Justice has been dating the TikToker Evan Berger ever since the two posted from the Rise Festival together back in October 2022. And that's it for all things Zoey 101, or should I say Zoey 102? Either way, see you in the next video.